Well, yeah. So I'm sat here and I'm talking to my friend Ricky D. Phillips. He's a best-selling historian and author, the man behind First Casualty and Letters from Stanley, and many other fantastic books about the Argentine War or the Falklands War.
My claim to fame, hello, Blair. My claim to fame is finding Hannibal's first battlefield, amongst many
That's
other
right.
things,
Yeah.
on the Battle of the Tagus from 220 BC. So,
Yeah.
so if someone is to say to you, "Are you a conspiracy theorist?"
No, not at all. I mean, I read David Icke's works, but I read everyone's works. I got a lot of the theories on Mars from The Biggest Secret. A lot of what Icke says is very intriguing, but a lot of it is about tinfoil hat territory. I think the stuff that he says about like the royals and all this and about reptilians is this is where you're kind of losing the audience here, Dave.
Graham Hancock is a name you mention often, who's again a very intelligent man. And I think even if you look at films, you probably know I'm a massive fan of the Alien films. Prometheus proposed this idea, this sort of genesis of identity. Where did we come from? And you're the kind of guy who doesn't sleep until you get your answers. Be that history of, be it Edinburgh, William Wallace, other things that you've done. Atlantis is the single most written about subject in the world. Napoleon is second, Jesus is third. If you want your stats, you'll forget this. They go, well, evolution answers it.
When it comes to Darwin, I'm not going to take anyone seriously. Anyone who screws their own relatives is a fucking nutcase, in my opinion. Yeah. How do you get interested in this kind of thing? I don't know. Just for me, I tend to have a bit of an obsessive nature. Like how you have like an addictive nature sometimes. Like you get addicted to things, kind of thing. Like in Trainspotting 2, so be addicted to something else. I think it all actually started with Atlantis, to be honest with you, and then I began to put it together from there that there's connections between Atlantis and Mars, and then that ties into Hollow Earth, and then it ties into the missing Canaan project and missing 411, and that ties into Nordic and Irish myths, and it ties into what Lou Baldwin was saying in Mars and the Lost Planet Man. So it's about, as David Icke likes to say, joining the dots, connecting the dots.
Which is something I mentioned to you, of course, and you're saying that there's something missing here. And I said, have you heard of World War Zero? And of course, this went off in millions of directions.
Well, the thing is, like Graham Hancock, I think, comes very close to World War Zero in a lot of ways with America Before, which I listened to. I listened to the audiobook of America Before in his new series coming out October the 16th. That'll be me resubscribing to Netflix for the first time in, I don't know, about 5 years or something like that. All these sites and all this, which ties into the work of Rita Jean Morin and other authors like that. The Lovelock Cave and I think it's in Nevada. From Hancock, I moved on to Hoagland and Mike Barra as well, and other authors. That also ties in with Commons Beaumont, with the mysterious comet and the riddle of the Earth. When Beaumont is talking about meteorites and asteroids fueling the planet, he's the only author. He's the only one who has come out and suggested this. And then when you read in the back end of the Mars Mystery with Hancock, he's talking about there's a constant cycle of comets and asteroids going in and around the Earth all the time. But the only part that Hancock sees is the potential danger. He doesn't see what Beaumont sees.